Um, so then, without further ado, and once more for everyone who's dropping in right now, warm welcome to today's webinar. Um, Today, for first, we do this together, and today it will be Nadia and me running this workshop. Nadia will focus more maybe on the why and how to reflect more the content wise, and I will do my workshop part, so to speak, about the technical aspects, how to get going should you not be already set up, and go through how WordPress is working and why this is important to get a grip of. So yeah, Nadia, great
Yes.
to have you with us for this. Take it away. I'll remove my spotlight, and you have your slides up and running.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you all for being here and attending this workshop about reflection. And the title of our webinar today will be From Color Blindness to Color Vision, when critical reflection leads to transformative learning. We will go through this content, what is reflection and why it matters, the different types of reflection, and we will be focusing on the critical reflection form of it, which is a painful but transformative and emancipative practice. When we talk about reflection, we have a profusion of definitions. We have a profusion of types and forms, and everything. And according to Smith, reflection can mean all things to all people. It's used as a kind of umbrella or canopy term to signify something that is good or desirable. Everybody has his or own, usually undisclosed interpretation of what reflection means. And this interpretation is used as the basis for trumpeting the virtues of reflection in a way that makes it sound as virtuous as motherhood. So from this quote, you can see that there are different meanings and different forms. Um, uh, the, 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 the definitions may range from engaging in solitary introspection to engaging in critical dialogue with others. Practitioners may embrace it occasionally in formal, explicit ways, or use it more fluidly in ongoing tacit ways. Some may found reflective practice simply as adopting a thinking approach to practice. For some others, it may involve like a carefully structured and crafted approach towards being reflective about one's experiences in practice. But the good news is, even if we have like a profusion of definition and a profusion of meanings, there is a consensus about four main points. The first one is that reflection is the process of learning through and from experience, as so stated by John Dewey in 1933. We do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experience, according to John Dewey. The second point is that reflection aims towards gaining new insights of self and or practice. Third point is that reflection involves examining assumptions and being self-aware and critically evaluating one's own responses to practice situations. And the fourth point is that reflection is a lifelong process of recapturing practice experiences, mulling them over critically in order to gain new understandings and so to improve future practice. So, to capture all of these elements, we can adopt the definition that you can find that was developed by the University of Edinburgh, and that you can find it on their reflection toolkit on their website. And according to this definition, reflection is the conscious examination of past experiences, thoughts, and ways of doing things. Its goal is to surface learning about oneself and the situation, and to bring meaning to it in order to inform the present and the future. Reflection challenges the status quo of practice, thoughts, and assumptions, and may therefore inform our decisions, actions, attitudes, beliefs, and understanding about ourselves. So, why it does matter? Because, as highlighted in this definition, reflection fosters deep learning. It activates prior knowledge to construct, deconstruct, and reconstruct new knowledge. So it's a continuous process of improving one's actions. It involves like stepping back from an event or experience to analyze it from different perspectives, which takes time, like to think, to feel about the experience itself, and to digest it. But also it involves identifying lesson learned and integrating what has been learned into a strategy for action. So here reflection is action oriented, it's a praxis. We do it not only just for the sake of reflecting, but to take concrete actions. And it's also like future oriented. So where are we going to do in the future, what actions to take in the future, based on our reflections about the different experiences that we go through. There are different types of reflection. So, depending on when you reflect, are you reflecting during the experience or in the experience, like the reflection that you have within your PBL groups, for example? And according to Schoen, this is a reflection in action. Another form is the reflection on action. It's a reflection that we have after the experience. It's more a retrospective type of reflection, like the one that you will be having at the end of the ONL course. What are we reflecting on? Are we reflecting on the experience by describing it, analyzing it, questioning it, and considering alternative viewpoint, which is we will see later on a superficial type of reflection, or are we going deeper by considering our assumptions, our biases, our belief systems, and this is a deepest and a deepest form of reflection. It's deeper because we go deep within our assumptions and value system. Are we reflecting on the process itself? So are we reflecting on how we are reflecting? And here we talk about meta reflections. And as we have meta reflection, we have as well the critical meta reflection, where we reflect on the assumptions and biases underpinning our reflective process. So here, as you can see, we have different levels of reflection, ranging from superficial reflection to a deeper form of reflection. Also, reflection can be done individually, like an introspection. It could be in a group, collaboratively. It could be facilitated by a facilitator or not. It could be structured, like guided by different theoretical models, or unstructured, I mean, more informal, more spontaneous with the free form. So talking about models, so you can find a lot of reflective theoretical models, like, for example, in the toolkit developed by the University of Edinburgh, you can find a lot of models. We cannot like go through all the models, but we will see like three main models. as examples. One of them that is very famous is the Gibbs model for reflection, where we start from describing an experience, what happened, to describing our feelings. So we can answer the question, what were you thinking and feeling? What was good and bad about the experience? Here we move to evaluating the experience, the analysis part, what sense can you make of the situation? What else could you have done to have a concrete action plan? If it arose again, what would you do? And it's a cycle. So we will adopt this action plan to go through other experiences, and we will be reflecting once again on those experiences through this whole cycle. Another model developed by Kolb. So Kolb, according to Kolb, there's four stages in the learning cycle that goes from the concrete experience to reflecting on that experience to abstract conceptualization to active experimentation. And you can adopt this Kolb cycle by asking such questions as what happened, what did I notice, what went well or not so well, what can I learn from this, what does this mean in theory, how does this connect to what I already know, what will I do differently next time, how can I apply this learning in the practice. Another model that you may be familiar with, it was developed by Driscoll in 1994. So it's the what, so what, now what model. So what happened, what did I do, and what was my reaction? So what, extracting meaning and learning from the experience. What did I feel at that time? What do I feel now? What were the effects on me? Now what? So creating an action plan for the future. So we have always this action plan for the future, since, as we mentioned before, reflection is action and future oriented. Now, what are the implications for me? And now, what is the main learning I take from this? So these models are like a good starting point for reflection. They may offer useful basic questions to help structure reflection, but there's a lot of critique to these models, pointing that we need a broader and more critically reflexive approach for reflection. And when we say broader, we mean that we need an approach that takes into consideration political aspects, the broader social aspects, ethical, moral, power structures behind different experiences that we go through, and about different narratives that we may encounter. It involves challenging personal and social assumptions, our social biases and stereotypes. We need models that consider missing voices and that are challenging and questioning privilege. In that regard, some questions to guide critical reflection might be, what beliefs or assumption influenced my action or decisions? What role did power, privilege, or bias play, including my own? Whose voices or perspective were missing or ignored through different narratives? What have I learned about myself, my values, and my practice? What could I do differently next time, and why? How can I challenge or unlearn limiting assumptions in the future? What structure or support do I need to sustain this change? So these questions, you know, especially the questions about the belief systems, the assumptions, the stereotypes, the power, privilege, because we could be like, when we reflect, we could like figure, I mean, we could notice that we are privileged ourselves, and there are like some power dynamics that are privileging the person itself. That's why these are like some dangerous questions. And Brookfield in 1990 captioned this idea idea perfectly by saying that questioning the assumptions on which we act and exploring alternative ideas are not only difficult, but also psychologically explosive. It's like laying down charges of psychological dynamite. When these assumptions explode, the whole structure of our assumptive world crumbles. Hence, educators who foster transformative learning are rather like psychological and cultural demolition experts. So, as you can see here, there are really strong words here. The idea is that when we consider those questions of privilege and hidden power structure, hidden political aspects, the assumptions, our own belief system is like we are scrambling our own worldviews. It's like we are challenging our own identity because this is part of who we are and our identity. So it's a painful process to go through. It raises a lot of emotions that might be like difficult and. But the good news that is transformative. It opens the eyes. It opens our eyes on different realities. And according to what Freire says, it's emancipating. Because also Freire talked a lot about emancipatory education and critical reflection as a way to emancipate the oppressed people and oppressed nations. Um, so, as you can see, the models that I showed you at the beginning, you know, the Gibbs model, Kolb's models, and Driscoll's models are kind of superficial, you know. If we compare them with critical reflection, they're like that's not negative, like when we say superficial, but it's a starting point for reflection. But we need like to broaden our reflections and to get deeper within those assumptions and those biases and values and beliefs and political and social structures and social justice and everything. That's why critical reflection is the deepest and the highest form of reflection. Becoming critically reflective. So we've seen it in the other slide, is a painful process of seeing familiar experiences in a new and sometimes disturbing ways. So this pain comes from a phenomenon that is called cognitive dissonance, where, you know, when new information contradicts someone's existing model of reality or worldview, we feel discomfort and we unconsciously defend against it. So we feel like we are threatened in our identity. So we start like a coping mechanism that is identity defense. We may also like reject the new information, and we might be destabilized. Like emotionally, it's very destabilizing. But the good news is while it might be painful, this process might be painful, but it's also like deeply liberating and essential for personal growth. So how to foster critical reflection? So here we need to provide, especially as educators, if we with our students, if we talk about the educational context here. So we need to provide supportive environment that encourage recognizing and validating one's and others' emotions, that foster dialogue, that fosters psychological safety, mutual respect, and care. So that's very important. We have to adopt a pedagogy of care perspectives where every voice matters, every person, like every view matters. So we need to have an inclusive environment where every view and every like perspective is respected and is considered. So as a conclusion, so we will go back to the title of this webinar, going from color blindness to color vision. So color blindness means that our assumptions remain unexamined. Color vision emerges when we practice critical reflection, when we reflect on our identity and privilege, our background, and how this background influences our perceptions and decisions, how institutional norms may advantage some groups over others, whose norms are centers, and who may be excluded. So thank you for so we come to the end of this presentation. So thank you for
Wow.
listening to me.
Yeah, this is so wonderful, Nadia. We always, or I feel like we always want our students and say so often, we want you to critically reflect. And my feeling is often that we don't really know what we mean with this. And now you know. We all know what we mean with this. So thank you for this, Nadia. This is amazing. And a lot for all of us to think about when we reflect, for instance, and when we ask you now in ONL to reflect. So, any questions, comments, or something you want to discuss with Nadia before we move on to the second part? Yeah, great, Isabel. Thank you. Go ahead. Now
Can
you
you
were
hear
not
me?
ready.
No, I'm having lunch. So,
Yes.
can you hear me? I see that you can hear me.
Yes.
Well, I really enjoyed this presentation. Thank you so much, because this is something that I've been feeling with my students lately. So I teach at the university, and I feel like there's all these pedagogical innovation things to do, like PBL, for example. But I feel that students don't like it. There's a generation of students that don't like to be put on the spotlight. So it's like when we interact with them and we give them opportunity. So we present a problem and we're all going to try to together collaborate to find the answer. Nobody really wants to step up because they feel like their bubbles of ignorance are being exposed. And they feel like there is no, from what they've told me, that there is no safe space where they can actually um, um, expose themselves. It's this vulnerability that is hard for them to expose themselves. And now hearing this talk about how to make a nurturing environment, how to make it feel like everyone's opinion matters, and this respectful way of looking and creating this environment, I think it's very important, particularly in PBL environments, where you have to make sure that that there is this warm, nurturing place where everybody has a role and everybody has a voice. And so I think this kind of neatly put names into all these things that I've been feeling with the students, but I didn't have names and models to talk about. And so now I have, so I'm very happy with it, and I would like to thank you for this presentation.
Thank you, Isabel, for the feedback, and I completely agree with you.
Yeah,
Nadia?
thank you, Isabel. Actually, it's normal that they feel discomfortable because, first of all, they feel they will be judged upon their reflection by the teacher because it's an assignment. So you'll be judging them and you'll be evaluating their reflection and you'll be grading the assignment if it is graded. And if it's like in a group, like they feel, we all feel of a judgment. So if we lay like the basics, I mean, we need to lay the basics for before talking about reflection. We need to set the settings. We need to prepare for this reflection by normalizing feelings, by asking about feelings. That's very important, you know. Starting always by asking about feelings, normalizing different feelings, validating feelings, and accepting the different narratives and the different perspectives and the different. No one will judge us. I mean, we need to work on these before starting the reflection process itself by discussing these, and you can like throw them the ball and how asking like simple question like how do you see the safe space, how do you want this safe space to be, and they will be like taking notes on and reflecting about the safe space itself so that you can contextualize the safe space to your own context because we have different contexts.
This is so rich and valuable. I feel sometimes, how do we do this then in our educational factories of universities, which we are these days, where everything and we ourselves want to just put in more content, more stuff, and then leaving any even more less time for exactly these parts of creating safe spaces. So yeah, this is not
Yeah,
an
I
easy
think,
task.
if I may, I think we
Yeah,
need to normalize making mistakes.
yeah.
I think that making mistakes should be a normal thing because that's actually how we learn best. But I think that there is this like a 5 year gap. Like for the last 5 years, I've seen a very large difference with students. They
Mm,
don't want to be exposed, and I would like really to create a safe space, but also to help them uh, being able to share and learn in a community because they are afraid of it. And this
mm,
is how I really would like to help them. And creating a safe space is the first part, but then what? I need to normalize mistakes. I need to make maybe decoupling who evaluates from who teaches could be a good idea.
mm. Thank you, Kirsty.
That making mistakes, it's almost universal. And it's something we've discussed in physics a bit, or I've realized in physics, is that up until they come to university, all their education is directed towards being able to write the correct answer, possibly accepting stuff, English, languages, or rather one's first language, and B, that and we see this certainly in some university systems, but the whole system is designed that nobody ever fails. You look at discussions of grade inflation in the UK, like if you go to Oxbridge, you cannot get a third class degree.
Mm,
You know, and it's mind-boggling. I mean, I thought it was bad enough when I was an undergraduate and a third of the year got a first because of how it worked with being able to get the first on your final year. But we had somebody in my year who got a pass, didn't even get honors because he failed so many exams. And there's such a difference between did not fail and everybody gets top grades. And now, like, the only way to keep happy students happy is to give them top grades. Now, I think that's a UK thing where there's so much on students being happy, but there's also this thing of students never experiencing not succeeding because it's not put into their schooling. And then you've got social anxiety on top of that, that's partly driven by social media.
mm,
You know, it's almost, as university lecturers, you need to refer the problem to the national bodies that determine the school curricula and say, look, you want to have highly trained graduates. You need to give them a kick up the butt in a different way to the usual demanding education experience. that's usually what you mean by when you say, give them a kick before they come to university. They need a very different pre-university experience that sets them up for much more self-confidence in one way, but much more humility in another. And much more realism about this isn't always going to just work like that. Sorry.
No, this is awesome. Thank you so much for contributing to this. Lovely. There's so much in there. Two things. Talking about happy students brings me to this poll I prepared. You should see a poll popping up now. I'm not exactly how this looks like. So, how's it going for you so far in ONL? Our students. You coming here is probably giving us an indication that it's going okay, at least. Good. 6, 7. Okay. Yes. All right. Good. Thank you. If you want to share more or ask questions or how it could be better, what you're struggling with, if you're on the 5, 6, 7 part of the scale, let us know. 9, 10, awesome. Go out and spread the word. We will do this. We do this 2 times a year. Great. Thank you. Then I have one more question leading us over. You all had a chance to answer. Good. I end this one. I have one more. And this leads us to the second part of our workshop. And it's about your reflection spaces. I know in general, when I look at the roster, so to speak, of our students, how it looks like, but I don't know how it is here right now in this room. So yeah, 7 answered. Yeah, not yet. Not yet and not sure. Great. And this is a little bit starting point for the reminder of this webinar is if you have not done it and if you're not sure if you have done it, this is what I'm going through now a little bit, and we can talk about the different aspects of why WordPress, for instance, also depending on where this takes us. And as you maybe have noticed from the discussions right now, from previous discussions, from posts on the reflection space, in this group, in this iteration of ONL 261, this is we have a like the entire distribution of digital competencies in the room. I think we have some of us who have their blogs, have running Linux on an Apple. This is the one end maybe, and then we have others which you can see in the community space. I show you a post right now in a second. First post, learning the platform. Hi, very excited to start this ONL course. Never done any blogging before. A lot of new things to learn. So if you feel like this is also okay and totally normal. And this is part of it. There's so much, I think, in ONL that it can be a little bit confusing in the beginning. Not only PBL online in international groups, this is mind-blowing for some of us, but then also the digital literacy part of it, like WordPress. I struggle with my learning platform, learning management system. Like what? Openly also. Like, there's a lot. So but as we really try hard here to create this safe space where making mistakes is totally fine, hopefully you will now take the opportunity within this course to experiment a little bit, knowing that you and fully control how much and how openly you share. There are some requirements. If you want to get a course certificate, we need to see some individual reflections somewhere, but you don't need to share them necessarily openly on the web. So we would encourage you to test it, but you don't have to. But we would like to know where your reflection space is, and we would like you to get a first-hand feeling about a digital reflection space which is not confined and trapped in the learning management system or the university's infrastructure, right? Because this is a liberating practice we're doing here. We show you open tools, and WordPress in particular, which is open source and which you can download on your own server on any given web hotel. It enables you to have a WordPress page, and you could just export your current WordPress page and your reflections, which you do in open network learning, and then import them in your own space. And that your students can do as well. All right, this is my intro to this. And now I'm gonna share my screen and show you for instance, the post which I quoted previously. So as of today, in the ONL 261 community space, you find now the individual reflections page, where we now automatically, for those of us who have set up everything, find the posts if they have done some. So I mentioned here Demetrius, all very new. If you click on it here, you come over here. This is a reflection space created on the Open Network Learning homepage. Right, and it's WordPress page where you are administrator, you have full power to change everything basically, right? And you can also export your posts and take them with you later. We have another one here from Todd, and Todd is more on the other end, I think, on digital literacies. He's doing a lot, has done a lot. It's been part of DS 106, one of the origins of this type of pedagogy and way of doing online teaching and learning. So here's another part, and this one I'm particularly glad for because it shows you also what we aspire to, what open network learning can look like. Because what you see here is Todd's post and great post, link to a previous resource, but then you see also the comments, right? I started, then Todd answered, Kirsty answered and got into the mix, and we have open network learning going on in practice already in the first topic of the page. So this is what we are maybe aspiring to and what this is enabling us to do. But going back, for those of us who feel like, oh, this is a lot to take in and I'm not this familiar with the digital tools, I'd like to show you now how you can set up shop very easily. And interrupt me, please, if you have anything or wonder about anything. This is the perfect session to ask questions. We have plenty of time. So many of you have clicked already on Create Reflection Space, right? And you come to this space, place, and it guides you through 3 easy steps to create your individual reflection space. You need to do create an address. In Dimitrios' case, it was Dimitrios ONL diary, this part. So this is, and here's like, there's some rules, and it's very good to read this very carefully. For instance, that you can only contain, the address can only contain lower cases and numbers. So your testing in ONL261 would be a working address, and here I can write it a little bit more free. Jörg is doing a live demo in ONL261. All right, so this should be working. And then I click on next, and maybe it's not working right now. Yeah. So then you come to the second step, and these parts are just telling you, or you are being in the driver's seat, used saying, indicating who is allowed to see and find this page you're creating. And you can change this later, but you have 5 options here, 2 of which are openly available. So whoever has the link can find it. And the first parts you can allow Google or other search engines to index your page or not and discourage them. Or you have different, more restricted settings if you don't want to show this space to anyone who has the link. Then you can register to users of the ONL course, to selected course participants of your choice, or only to myself and the administrator of the site. So this is settings you can change later, but in this case I'm choosing fully open here. And then the next part is where you change the look and feel, or set the look and feel of your site. And this can also be changed. This is WordPress, a content management system where content and appearance is separated from each other. So you can change this. I will choose this one, Rams. And then I scroll down, and then I'm done. And if everything goes well in this live demo, then we can soon see this page. And it should be here. I can send you the link as well. You could take a look later. Maybe you see it, maybe not. Where is my chat? So many windows open. Maybe someone can help me with the chat and putting this link in. Jörg testing in ONL261. So this is how easy it is to set up the reflection space. Questions? Many of you have done it already. Yes, Isabel?
Sorry.
No, good. Questions are good.
Because my question is more about the organization of the website. It's not like I cannot navigate it. I think I can navigate it, but at some point I cannot find back the place to go to previous URLs. So the thing is that I set up my own my individual reflection space, right?
Yeah.
But now, when you ask, did you connect it? I was under the impression that you had 2 options. Either you create one in the ONL website, or you connect your personal one. So these 2 questions are mutually exclusive. So why did you ask for both? You should have asked, in case you didn't make your own individual, did you connect the one that you had before? So I was the one that answered, not sure, because in my view, they are mutually exclusive, right? I didn't connect my personal one because my personal one is actually a professional one, is an outreach, science outreach.
Yeah.
So I didn't connect it. But I created one. But then I created it, but it doesn't appear anywhere. So if I created it and I started writing, why doesn't anyone see my individual reflection space? You see my question?
I think so. Thank you. Yes. So I'm trying to answer this. um, in showing you also the second part now. So this will be a very long answer, I'm afraid. Why we do stuff like this, how you can do it. See, like running a course in a learning management system, very enclosed stuff, just with your students in your LMS is very easy, right? Because everyone is in the same course, everyone is there, and you have the basic functionalities. All good. It's good. It's good for 90% of all the university courses, which we do. Um, but if we want to create something like open network learning, this will not be good enough, right? The learning management system as such is not good enough. It doesn't allow often the openness and the layered approach to openness and really connecting people from all the people like you who have their spaces already and get together and set this up in a coordinated way. We are in the middle of this process with OpenLL and Open Network Learning, ONL 261. So we try to give people like you and the opportunity to right from the start create their personal spaces. At the same time, we're trying to cater for colleagues who never done this at all and trying to slowly guide them towards testing with the pedagogy like this and the affordances of the open net and the internet, which we have. So this was the first part, and we would like to provide the opportunity very easily to set up a reflection space without going to WordPress.com, for instance, or without assuming that you already have it. And at the same time, we would like to, yeah, provide you also the opportunity to use your own reflection space, your own blog if you have it. Maybe create uh, um, um, a category for it if you have one. So I show my example. This is my blog, right? It's been a while, but you see some here in the different category. For instance, here you see all posts on my blog with the category Open Education. So you see some posts here. I don't want to use this one for sharing in open network learning here. I would like to use another category I have on my blog, and you can see already in this post, a post can have several categories. Right now we're going also in a little bit of how is WordPress working and other content management systems. So I'm using this category here. And I copy this category, ONL, on my URL, and then I go back to the ONL community space. I do a refresh because maybe we can see the link to my individual reflection space. Yes. See, also catering to the question here, where is my individual reflection space? If you do a refresh after you started your own one, you should see the link to your to your individual reflection space under your groups. But I'm sidestepping here. So now the second part I wanted to show. The first one was creating your reflection space. You can use a previously one you have, not LinkedIn, a reflection space, preferably if you want us to be able to aggregate all your posts automatically, then it has to have a RSS feed and it needs to be a post type, not a page type. Right? So, but if you click here on connect your reflection space, then I should be coming to this page. And then you come to this form, which is just a web form, really. You are asked to indicate, are you institutional learner? Like in our case here, are you from Karlstad or from Akada, really? The reminder of the people here, participants, are open learners. We have a few independent learners also. They are not part of any PBL group. This is also by design. We would like to people enable to follow this course and join the network learning who are not part of the PBL group. This is very, we have very seldomly have this self-directed learners who really full come through with this. Sorry, Isabel, I didn't see your hand.
That's fine. I just wanted to, thank you for your answer. But actually my question was, so first off, my options in my home are not the same as yours.
No, exactly.
So I don't see, for example, once I created my own reflection space, I don't have the opportunity to create or connect a new one. So the options that you were showing, you were saying, now click here. I don't have that option anymore. And I know where I can find my individual space. But for example, I don't know where I have to go to find yours and to find the other colleagues from my PBL group that have already made it, because I don't find the place where I can see all individual spaces that are not the ones that are externally connected.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if my home is different from yours or if my login is different from yours, but I don't see the same options as you're demonstrating.
Okay.
You see, if you see, so I cannot follow you on the thing that you're doing because I do not have the same options. I don't know if it's because of my group, but I don't have the same options that you do.
Would you feel comfortable sharing your screen in a second?
Of course.
Yes, excellent. I'm just finishing this part and then we'll get to this. So here you just say maybe you're an open learner, click on next, and here you paste in that URL and maybe giving us an email address. Just if there's something goes wrong, then you connect and then you decide who is supposed to see your post. Fully openly on ONL, then you will see them soon here on the individual reflection. This is not set up yet. Okay, this part is not set up yet. We're just still collecting everyone's reflection spaces. Not everyone is there yet. See, this is also answering maybe one of your questions. Or do you want to just show it in the community space? Because I feel comfortable sharing in the community space with all the colleagues here, but not to the outside world. Then you choose this one, for instance. I now choose fully openly. And then you submit the form and then I get an email that someone connected their reflection space. Because what will happen now is then, and here this I also, this is not, see now I see the confusion. This is a mistake I did. I didn't update this link here, most likely. I will get onto this right after our webinar. In a second, a day or two, you will see a list of all connected spaces. Okay? Sorry, Isabel, and everyone else.
That is actually my question.
Yeah,
this is
great.
why I didn't know if I connected it, because
Yeah.
it didn't appear anywhere. And
Yeah.
one of the tasks I had was to comment on others, and I
Yeah.
couldn't find anyone else's.
No. Yes, great. Great. And now we established this. The thing is still, half of the participants probably have not even created their individual reflection space. And neither have they filled in this form with connecting your reflection space. So there is not so much to show yet. And this is a good takeaway with your group. Hey, let's get this open network learning started. If no one's contributing, then we will not be able to do this, right? So this is why we do this session in the second week of the first topic. Now is really high time to get going with setting up your individual reflection space, to fill in the form where that space is connected. And it could be anywhere, but it needs to be an RSS feed for us to be working and aggregating the posts. I stop there for a minute or two. If you have questions or other comments. No, and Kirsty, for you, it's the same. I have a question. Which category would you like to use? You have a lot of posts already. We don't want to share all the posts here. We only want to share the ones which are connected to ONL. And this is, you just let us fill in the form again and let us know which category.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out whether I can get it so that those don't end up on the normal post page.
You should.
Because my current thinking has been to have a single page that I just add to, so it doesn't need to be updated. It's always there. So that's my current thinking, is to have a page that's not going to have an RSS feed, because it's not looking like I'm going to get the categories to split it off into a separate ONL blog page.
There's different settings on your blog page. You could say
I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, take
and I'm not sure I'm going to figure it out.
Categories, for instance, for presenting here, not all of them, just these, for instance. Not, for instance, then including open network learning if you don't want to share it there. So, and then just write it and let us know create a new individual reflection space here on open network learning as you please.
Yeah. No, I'm looking into things.
Yeah, a lot of decisions to take. Great. Any other questions? Oh, now you're muted, Christina.
I'm not asking questions. I'm asking myself.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking. Sorry.
Just a small question, because I came only in the middle of your presentation, so I missed part of it.
Yeah, no
Is
problem.
there a stepwise instruction also on the website, or I have to look at the recording in order to know all this?
Which part are you wondering about?
Yeah, I only saw the part that I see half, which is creating the reflection website and how to submit it. This is the part. So I wonder, for all the rest of the things I haven't seen, or the part I don't think I completely follow yet, is there a written instruction somewhere? Or
Yes.
I have to wait to see the video recording?
No. There is a written instruction. If you go to Getting Started Week.
Okay.
If you go to the Getting Started Week from the course overview, there is a written descriptions of check the checklist, and if you set up your reflection space, and then on the ONL homepage, or easier, most likely on the ONL, I share my screen again here. On the ONL 261 community space, right? You're familiar with this space, ONL 261 here. There you have create reflection space, and you follow the steps. And then once you have done this, you click on connect your reflection space, and then you follow these steps.
Okay.
That's all there is.
Okay.
And if you have a question and this relates to refers to all of you, put it in the community space. Ask in your PBL group meeting. You have a lot of safe spaces by now, hopefully, where you can see asking questions is fully okay in this course. And we try to be as patient and as friendly and open as possible to answer this in the most suitable way.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for asking. Then was there more in the chat? Yeah, no problem. Thank you for joining. And if there's anything else, There's so much more to say about WordPress. Obviously, it's used for 40% of all web pages out there. So if you know WordPress, if your students know WordPress, this is a very good transferable skill. If you start in any company, they might have a WordPress homepage, and it's very well documented. All the LLMs know everything about WordPress as a content management system. You can get all your answers, all your questions answered just by Googling, but quicker by interacting with LLMs of any shape or form. Sure. If the people are dropping off, if there's nothing else, then now you should be able to set up your reflection space. You have the practical, technical part, and then thanks to Nadia's input, you also need to I should not just write some stuff here. But you can, of course, just start with the first spot post like you've seen in the message. Just try to hit the publish button and see what happens, that there's nothing critically or seriously stuff happening. And then you can go into the inner feelings of what happened in my PBL group. Why am I experiencing this? Why are my assumptions like this? What does this mean for this process and my practice as a teacher? And go take it from topic to topic and do the ABC of blogging. Always be commenting. When you read something from someone else, don't just say, that was nice, click further. But if you read someone else's post, take this extra 30 seconds and just leave something. Doesn't have to be the next Nobel Prize winning comment. Just something that this person know that someone's reading my stuff. Very nice feeling. Thank you so much for today. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you all for being here. And if you've seen this until the end now, wow, and have fun in your PBL groups interacting with each other. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too.
Will do.
We'll try.